Warning: the following video contains explicit language, which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready? Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Today was not a cloud in the sky, it was sunny, 53 degrees. So it was, wow, I mean, a lot of people were like really outside the Mount Hope Avenue. Everybody's out walking through there, and there's even people wearing shorts. 53 degrees and we're wearing shorts. I know for some of you people who live in the South, that would be like, you guys are nuts. That's only because we've lived in this state for so long, our blood is thickened, you know, and so cold temperatures, you'd have to make it really cold for us to be like, ooh, it's cold, okay? But that also means we can't stand heat either. So it's like, of course, we get high humidity in this state when it's hot, and that makes it even worse. Got this lady that came by today offering me a new internet service because I'm using Spectrum, and I could be saving 20 bucks a month going with them. I don't know if that's showing up. It's for 2 gigs. It's $79 a month, or 1 gig for $59 a month. I'm like, I'd like to save money, but I have so many fucking things attached to Spectrum. The devices that I have, the computers that I have, everything's all linked to it, and if I yank that out of here and I put a new one, I'd have to spend the next fucking week a week trying to get everything reconnected back to it and working, and I hate that. Technology is always changing all the fucking time, and you can never get used to something for very long before, oops, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta update. I'm up to here with that shit, so yes, I mean, I know I could save money, but I'm looking at a lot of disconnect and reconnect and reestablish connections, all these fucking things, and I had a hell of a time just getting things that connected to my Alexa app, and all that stuff that I use, and I got a couple of cameras I got connected to that. I don't know. We'll see. The lady, I brought her in here. I said, look, take a look around. When she got in here, and she was, shocked at all the stuff I own. After she was done with that, she says, oh, yeah, I could see where that's going to be a job. I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to, this room behind me, the living room, I'm going to have to push everything away from the walls so that way you can get in there and yank that shit out and put the new stuff in there, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get in there and reconnect all that. An apartment, it's small, and you don't have the wiggle room you need to be able to do these things. So anyway, that's my problem I have to deal with. Anyway, I got a couple of videos. The first one is from iHip, and she is mad on there about Chuck Schumer, who voted with the Republicans on the continuing resolution. She's saying, well, what happened? First, he was, threatening government shutdown, fight, and within what, a matter of a couple of weeks. Now he's singing a different song, and he's doing this, and it really pissed her off. And so here's that video, and then we'll come back and we'll hatch over that, I guess.
We are at a moment in history, and it is not about Democrats versus Republicans. It's about those of us that want to uphold democracy against the fascists. And if Democrats, any Democrat, appeases and capitulates to the fascists, to the MAGA fascists, then they are not on our side. Today, we need to discuss Senator Chuck Schumer's capitulation and weakness, and he must be replaced. The Democratic senators need to replace this man immediately. He is voting with fascists. He is voting with the Nazis. I don't need to remind any of you that Elon Musk does 2 Nazi salutes. There are banners all over the UK talking about what a Nazi he is. His stock is in a free fall. Watch this just failed leadership. Here he is in the first clip talking about how he's going to fight. This is what he's going to do. And then what he said yesterday on the Senate floor.
Win. We will win. We will win. We will win.
I think this is pathetic.
We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. While the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. For sure, the Republican bill is a terrible option. It is not a clean CR. It is deeply partisan. It doesn't address far too many of this country's needs. But I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option.
Okay, he's completely wrong about this. And history has shown you cannot capitulate. You cannot appease with autocrats, with fascists. And that's what the MAGA government is right now. Let's listen to Sam Sater's take on this. Please put up the tweet. He says, "This is a total farce, and anybody who pays attention enough to understand this statement knows it is a farce. This CR might as well be called the Doge Enablement Act, and you're going to let it pass. You're not a leader. You're a concierge." And I think Sam is 100% correct here. There can be no daylight, none, between the resistance and appeasing or helping the MAGA fascists. There can be none. There are 2 completely different worldviews. There's one for Donald Trump and all of his crackhead criminal cabinet. And then there are those of us that want to fight for equality, human rights, democracy, and social justice. And you cannot bend. You cannot let any daylight with these 2 different ideologies. There are some Dems that are fighting really hard. Let's listen to AOC with this crystal clear clarity about this moment.
Spending bill removes all of the guardrails and all of the accountability measures to ensure that money is being spent in the way that Congress has directed for it to be spent. This turns the federal government into a slush fund for Donald Trump and Elon Musk. It sacrifices congressional authority, and it is deeply partisan. And so to me, it is almost unthinkable why Senate Democrats would vote to hand the few pieces of leverage that we have away for free when we've been sent here to protect Social Security, protect Medicaid, and protect Medicare.
I have a message for the Chuck Schumers and for the Gavin Newsoms in the Democratic Party right now. If you don't fight for us, we're not going to fight for you. If you want to go play patty cake with a bunch of Nazis, swing for the fences. This is not the moment to run to the center. This is not the moment to make a bipartisan deal. They don't do it. Donald Trump sent a team of rubes to the Capitol on January 6th. They beat up cops. They took a shit in the Capitol, and he gave them all pardons. And then the Democrats got upset when Joe Biden pardoned his son. We're playing two different games here, two completely different games. And some of the Dems are playing the right game. You have AOC, you have Chris Murphy, Cory Booker yesterday came out really strong. And let's listen to Bernie Sanders.
Of people are not standing up and saying, you know what, we're a democracy, not an authoritarian society. Don't undo the Constitution of the United States. You're not going to throw 83,000 workers off the Veterans Administration. You're not going to cut the Social Security staff so that elderly people will die while they're waiting to get the benefits that they paid into. You're not going to take food away from hungry kids. If you do nothing, you sit back and you say it is going to be terrible. And that's right. A shutdown will be terrible. But our job is to put the onus on the Republican president, the Republican House, the Republican Senate, the people who control the government. They are responsible. They've acted in an undemocratic, unprecedented, unilateral way. They've given us an offer, take it or leave it. That ain't the way democracy works.
He's exactly right. We have to put the onus on MAGA. And there is a reason that they are running from doing town halls. And it is because this whole MAGA movement is smoke and mirrors. People that voted for him this last time are denying voting for him. They're going to town halls, ripping, eviscerating their congressmen in deeply red districts. The Democrats have to take the message. If you're going to do this, if you're going to take Social Security, if you're going to give more money to Elon Musk, which, by the way, it came out, Tesla doesn't even pay federal taxes. So we fund this untreated drug addict who has stage 5 meltdowns in the Oval Office and cries to the president because he's emotionally unstable and upset because his stock is worth half as much as it was a month ago. And then Trump holds a huge car commercial for him. These people are not working for you. So why is Chuck Schumer, why is Gavin Newsom sitting down with them? This will end up biting them. Charlie Kirk's already out bashing Gavin Newsom. This is not the way. The way forward right now is we believe in democracy unapologetically, and we will fight for this country unapologetically against fascism. And any Democrat who is not on that train, get off. Go play with MAGA. Go play patty cake with the fascists, because you're not welcome here. But the people who are welcome here are leftists, progressives, liberals. Even if you voted for Trump and you got dicked over, come join us and fight for democracy, because this is that moment. Exactly what Bernie said, exactly what AOC said. And let me tell you why this moment is so important, that you do not give them an ounce of daylight, not an ounce. The Daily Beast reports Elon Musk has reposted a tweet suggesting that Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, and Mao Zedong were not responsible for murdering millions of people. Why would he be doing this? Because he is a fascist. He is a Nazi. This is what they do. They whitewash history so that they can gain power. This is a very, very dangerous political movement in the United States of America. We're picking fights with Canada. We're picking fights with the European Union. Why are we doing this? Why? Why is Donald Trump doing this? Let's put up the next one.
But I got along very well with President Putin. I got along with most of them. I get along great with President Xi. I got along great with Kim Jong-un. I got along great with all of them.
This is not the accomplishment that he thinks it is. This is them owning him, because governments get psychological files on other world leaders and learn how to manipulate them, especially autocrats. And they have a psychological file on Donald Trump, and they know that he falls prey to superficial flattery. So what does Kim Jong-un do? He writes him love letters. You're so great. You're so strong. You're so masculine. Your hair is awesome. And Donald Trump falls for it hook, line, and sinker because he's an insecure, crazy man. And the same with Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin, I think it goes even deeper. I think the Russians bailed him out when no U.S. bank would ever loan Donald Trump money because every business he's ever done has completely failed. And so this bragging about getting along with autocrats is really giving credit to these dictators that they know how to manipulate the president of the United States because he's so incredibly weakly positioned. So here we have Elon Musk trying to whitewash history that Adolf Hitler didn't kill millions of people, and at the same time he does 2 Nazi salutes. We have Trump saying he's BFFs with Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin, and they think this shows strength, and it doesn't. It is complete weakness, which begs the question, why is Chuck Schumer going along with this? Why is Gavin Newsom sitting down with Nazis? This is insane. Gavin Newsom, if you want to talk to MAGA, go talk to people in red counties in California. Sit down with them, because all this other stuff is just performative, right-wing, rage-baiting entertainment, and they will rip you for this. It makes you look so incredibly weak. And how do I know that they look so weak? Let's look at this tweet from the House Judiciary Committee. They tweet, Schumer caved, Trump won, incredible. And somebody retweets that and says, if your political opponents are celebrating your decision, you probably screwed up. And so here we are getting played again because of weak Democratic leadership. What can you do? Go follow these senators that are fighting the good fight. Engage with them, retweet them, boost their platforms. Don't get into a fight with a bunch of MAGA cult members. You're not going to feel good about it later. They're stupid and they cannot be reached. But I want to leave you with one final headline here. Axios reports Trump's first month in office showed federal spending of $603 billion in February, $36 billion higher than last February. Alex Cole says, so what did Doge do? And this Doge thing is all a ruse. It's all a ruse to throw to the rubes because they've scared all of the people that these institutions are stealing money from you. They are ruining America. They're giving all the money to trans people and to immigrants and all of these lies. And the fact of the matter is the people that are stealing from you live together as roommates in the White House, which is just breathtaking that this news cycle is so insane that we can't even really cover the fact that Elon Musk lives with Donald Trump in the White House. So my message to these Democrats that are trying to play patty cake with fascists is knock it off. And if you're going to continue to do it, Dems, replace them immediately. Now is not the time to fuck around because we'll end up finding out. Go hard in the paint. Be very crystal clear that you will not work with Nazis. It's not that hard to have conviction. I know that you can do it, and we all need to keep fighting. Please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you all later.
Yeah, as you can see, she's pretty pissed, as you can see. And AOC, you know, she came out reminding people what's at stake here. You know, you can't capitulate to MAGA. They're not the Republican Party. MAGA is different. It's a cult, okay? And you don't deal with a cult by capitulating to them, okay? You don't meet them halfway or something like that, because if you give them an inch, they're going to eventually take a yard, and that's the way they work. And I mean, well, let me ask you like this: do you think MAGA would come to the center, you know, to work with Democrats to do anything, you know, budget-wise or something like that? You know, they wouldn't. Okay, the very idea would piss them off to no end to even think of doing something like that, so they never would. And why, you know, Chuck Schumer figured that it was okay for him to do this. Frankly, you know, he's like we've been saying, you know, we have some Democrats in our party who are too middle of the road for most people's tolerance, okay? And when the other side won't come to the center, why should we go to the center for them? You know, you got to give to get. That's the way it works in this world. You got to give to get. And the Republicans, the MAGA, never gave anything for Chuck Schumer to side with them. He didn't make any fucking arrangement to get something for my support. Okay, he simply sided with them. I don't know what they talk about behind closed doors. He hasn't said anything. But it looks, on the surface, it looks very pissed, hateful, and people are not happy about it. And I can't say I blame them, because when after the last 6 months here with Trump as president, again, we are being inundated by constant fucking shit that, he's trying to take away from us. And everything about them is cut. And, these things are just angering people because, like I said, these cuts are across the political spectrum, which means they affect everybody. No matter where your political leanings are, it affects everybody. So, he does this, and he's, angering people that supported him and voted for him, right? So Trump's not doing himself any favors by being, pig-headed about this. And the Democrats see this, and they shouldn't feel like they don't have any leverage. They did have leverage, by standing against Trump here. But, what I think is that, Democrats are just too worried that if they went ahead and supported it, or not supported, but basically forced a government shutdown, in their minds, they think that somehow it's going to get thrown back on them, and that the Republicans will force that perception on the public, saying it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault, it's not our fault. Okay? And I have to say, as far as messaging goes, Republicans are very good at that. Democrats are not. So they would probably, unless they had somebody there that could really throw back the rhetoric, they would find themselves, at a defensive position here, while the MAGA people, go after the Democrats with everything they got. So I think that's what Chuck Schumer was probably worried about. And I'm thinking, well, if this is how you're going to do these things here, from here till the midterms, if this is the way you're going to play it, you're not going to really pick up that many seats. You might even lose some seats, okay? Because you're already angering Democrats. That there's Democrats out there who are pissed off at the Democrat Party for not standing strong against Trump, okay? And so, what'll happen is that, come midterms, no matter what Trump does, the approval rating of the Democrats won't be much better than Trump's, and you might not see that many people even bother to turn out and vote. Okay, you might see fewer people voting. So, it's like, how the hell could I say this? I mean, yes, the Republicans are the majority. They are in power. Okay, they got the houses and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And it should be obvious to anybody that if there's any hard times coming, it's on their watch. It's going to be their fault. All right? If the Democrats stand their ground and force a government shutdown, they need to keep the message out there that they forced us into this. Okay? Their actions forced this to happen. We couldn't allow this to go on because everything they've been cutting now, it's affecting people that need help, the people that need government help, okay? The veterans, the sick, okay? The hospitals, you name it. They've been slashing everything. And the only way we can stop that is to shut down the government, okay? And, unless they give us what we want, which is to stop to this crap, okay? So I feel like, Chuck is like saying, well, I don't want to do this because it's going to hurt the American people. Well, the American people are already being hurt, Chuck. They already are. All right, and they're all looking for you guys, for you and your constituents to stand up to this turkey, and you haven't done that much right now, okay? And how much do they say of the Project 2025 has already been implemented here? About half? You know, what more do we have to wait for before you guys do something? Because the way we're seeing it, you guys are there, you know, basically quiet. You know, we're not seeing a pushback like we should see in a time like this, where we have somebody who's kissing up to autocrats around the world and cutting services to people in need in this country. And we're just not seeing any real pushback. I mean, we certainly would have expected a whole lot more. You know, I mean, it was one thing during the first presidency that we didn't see a whole lot because people were kind of confined to their homes because of COVID. But people were fucking mad about it. Okay, they were at home seething about how things were happening here. And so now that, you know, this is we got him again as president, and people are still out and about, and Trump is out there putting a hatchet job to our budget and our government, okay, now we expect to see some energy here from the other side, and we ain't seeing it, okay? Some people in the Democrat Party are speaking out, okay? But it would be nice if we saw some of these other people, you know, like Gavin Newsom and Chuck Schumer, to, you know, stand with us and stop kissing their butt, you know, the MAGA people. They stop doing that, okay? Because it's not conducive to creating, you know, a change in this country for the better. It's not helping. And I think that you know, one of the weaknesses that Democrats have yet to exploit about Trump is this need of his, of Trump, to basically, you know, be liked. He wants people to like him, to applaud him, to think he's the greatest thing. Okay, why the Democrats haven't figured this out yet, and the rest of the world has, I don't know. Okay, as she pointed out here in her video, he's getting love letters. They're from dictators, and they're doing this on purpose to make him feel like, oh, they're, you know, they like me, and so I can deal with them, and I could do things for them. That's his weakness. I don't see why Democrats haven't leveraged this man in that fashion yet. I don't know why. I just don't. I really don't. You know, I was really surprised to hear about how much we're spending in February this year. The federal spending, $603 billion fucking dollars. And that was, what, almost 40 billion more than last February? I thought the whole point of Doge, Musk, you know, and the things that they campaign on was supposed to be about cutting government spending, right? Isn't that what they were talking about? Oh, the government's spending too much and on too many frivolous things. Well, so why are we spending more then? I mean, I realize these are questions that we already know the answers to, but I'm just saying the message here, the perception is very hypocritical here, because on one hand they're saying they want to save money in the government, they want to cut waste spending and all that, and at the same time they spend way more money this time around than Biden did last year this time. So what the hell are we talking about here? Are you cutting or are you adding? I mean, what are you doing here, Doge? Okay, where the hell is this extra? Why did we spend so much more this year? What the hell did that do? Did we give that money to Elon Musk or something? I mean, that must be what it is, because people have been bitching about how Musk is getting money, you know, for his company. What was in subsidies? Okay. Is that the reason where we spent more in February? Is because we handed our money over to him for, you know, hey, I don't see why MAGA would stand for that, right? I mean, MAGA is supposed to be out there saying, oh, we got to get rid of wasteful spending. Well, you people don't want to buy Teslas. I know that much, because you people think they look ugly, for one thing. Even though you might, you know, like or dislike Musk, okay, you're not really behind this guy. So it's okay with you that we give him money, subsidies for his company that's going down in the tank right now? You want to talk about wasteful spending? And I'm just saying that could be, I don't know if that's all of it, but that could be part of the billions that we spent more last month. So I'm just saying here, you know, that doesn't look like a government that's trying to save all money here, that we spent more. Okay, you know, I just think people, you know, you need to think about that. You know, what is Trump really trying to do here? You know, because it's not adding up here. Make it make sense, okay? All right, so let's go to commercial break, and then we'll come back for the other video.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Roxy Sugar, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
Now this measles spread, we had it at bay. Dismantled vaccine scientists are fired without pay. And air traffic chaos, planes crash every week. Blaming blacks and women pilots, soft to compete. I finally own the lift tonight, now what do I do? The purchase took everything I got, consequences too. Yes, I finally own the lids tonight. Trump got me this prize, but I burned it all down to get what I want, and now I'm stuck with his lies. Was a time when all my allies were pro-democracy. Now I'm defending Kim Jong-un and Putin's legacy. I used to want to win Cold Wars, not conquering Greenland. And I cheered the fall of the Berlin Wall, now building it's the plan. I finally own the lids tonight, now what do I do? The purchase took everything I got, consequences too. Yes, I finally own the lids tonight. Trump got me this prize, but I burned it all down to get what I want, and now I'm stuck with his lies. To visit Disney's Small World and bring all my kids. Now I'm suspicious of those globalists and their socialist bits. I always like the guy who mowed my lawn and his fun accent, but his wife wasn't illegal. I got him off, he sent. I finally own the lids tonight, now what do I do? The purchase took everything I got, consequences too. Yes, I finally own the lids tonight. Trump got me this prize, but I burned it all down to get what I want, and now I'm stuck with his lies. But I burned it all down to get what I want, and now I'm stuck with his lies.
Really hate that sad loser, Mr. Newberger.
Who, me?
Well, fuck me, because here we are again. Another day, another goddamn dumpster fire ignited by the Oompa Loompan equivalent of a half-melted circus peanut, and MAGA's still out there, clapping like lobotomized seals at his every word. You act like he's the second coming of Jesus, when he's really just the first coming of a bargain bin Benedict Arnold who treats the Constitution like it's a Chinese-made cocktail napkin at Mar-a-fucking-Lago, smeared with ketchup from his well-done steak and scrawled on with a Sharpie, like a toddler trying to fix the rules of Uno. While you fanny pack fascists are busy hooting and hollering like day-drunk dodos over his brazen bullshit about 300-year-olds, drag shows, or whatever other stupid shiny object he dangles in front of your slack-jawed faces, the country is circling the goddamn drain, and you're too fucking stupid, too spiteful, or both to notice. Or maybe you do notice, but you just don't give a flying shit because, hey, at least he's owning the libs, right? At least he's making the they, them, those people you irrationally fucking hate feel bad, even if it means setting your own goddamn house on fire in the process. Now listen up, you cousin-loving clodhoppers, because the cold hard truth is this. None of this is about making your life better. It never fucking was. It's about keeping you distracted while they rob you blind, gut your communities, and sell this country off to the highest foreign bidder. You think he gives a shit about you? You think he even knows you exist? Newsflash, you Yankee Doodle dipshits. He wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire unless he could charge you for it. You're not his base, you're his marks. His useful fucking idiots, his willing accomplices in the slow, painful destruction of everything that once made this country special. Meanwhile, while you're busy chanting MAGA and slapping those tacky-ass Cry Harder bumper stickers on the gas-guzzling trucks you will no longer be able to afford, he and his oligarch buddies are bleeding this country dry. They're gutting your healthcare, your retirement, your schools, your environment, and your future, all while blaming everyone but themselves. Immigrants, LGBTQ plus people, drag queens, fucking librarians, anyone and everyone except themselves, because they're the ones pulling the goddamn strings, and you fall for it every fucking time because critical thinking ain't exactly your strong suit. Now is it, you sharp as marbles flagpole felchers? But here's the thing. This isn't just about you anymore. It's about the rest of us who have to live with the consequences of your stupidity. It's about the kids who are going to grow up in a country that's poor, sicker, and more divided than ever because you couldn't be bothered to pull your heads out of your asses long enough to see what's really going on. It's about the fact that while you're busy fighting a culture war over pronouns and Dr. Seuss books, the real war, the one against greed, corruption, and inequality, is being fucking lost. Congrats on not just being stupid, but being fucking dedicated to it. It's like you woke up one day, looked intelligence in the face, and said, fuck that, I'll pass. You wear your ignorance like a goddamn badge of honor, doubling down on every wrong, brain-dead opinion, as if being loud and fucking wrong is some kind of twisted superpower. You Kool-Aid Clan Karens and Proud Boy panty sniffers are out there desperately Googling how to fucking think, while proudly hitching your rusty ass, broken down wagon to a bloviating, bloated fucking con man who's gleefully running this goddamn country straight into the fucking ground. But at least you've got your tacky ass red hats and your bullshit Facebook conspiracy memes to keep you comfy while the whole fucking world burns down around you. Bask in the fucking flaming dumpster fire you helped to build. You've earned every last goddamn ember.
Feeling my husband with 8 inches was like reliving our first time. Thanks to the salt trick, he makes me gush like a broken pipe. And just last month, I was ready to divorce my husband. But then he showed me his new 8-inch magic wand. Now, I can barely hold it in my hand. This salt trick is hands down the biggest advantage any man can have heading into 2025. I wasn't kidding when I said you should take it easy with this trick. It can turn a sad little twig into a raging anaconda. It's ridiculously simple. And it's heartbreaking to see so many men missing out on the chance to finally make their women happy. So far, this easy homemade trick has helped over 29,000 men naturally increase both size and thickness. This is the same secret top-paid adult film actors use to keep their bats way above average. It's also how they manage to handle 3, 4, or even 5 women in a row without losing their stamina. The best part? It works for men of all ages, takes just 30 seconds before bed, and can give you some incredible results in no time. If you want to skip the details and go straight to the video, just click the Watch Now button below to learn how to pull off this simple but powerful trick tonight. You should probably watch it alone, if you know what I mean. Don't waste any more time. Watch it before it gets taken down or you can't find this video anymore. Your wife or girlfriend will thank you for the rest of her life.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution, people can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Okay, welcome back. All right, so we next video here, it's from Kyle Kulinski, and he's mad about what MAGA has done here. They have banned free school lunch for kids, which was you know, a federal thing that, you know, schools were getting, that started during COVID, or maybe just before COVID. I can't remember exactly, but it was right around then. Yes. But a lot of states liked the program because they had fewer kids showing up to school hungry. They'd get breakfast and they'd get lunch free. Well, MAGA said enough with that, do away with it. So Kyle's really pissed about it. And let's go to the video here, and he'll explain it.
Also, I am continuing on a daily basis to slowly but surely lose my mind, because I keep seeing the worst possible things imaginable occur, and people not make a big deal out of them. I mean, to be fair, that's why I have this show, right? I'm given news and information in my opinion, but it's also a form of therapy. Like what I'm about to walk you through. How is everybody not screaming about this through a megaphone and losing their minds and flooding the streets and like ready for a revolution over this? So let me walk you through this. Let's start with this here. Here you have the Agriculture Secretary under Trump, Brooke Rollins. Here's what she says they're planning on doing now. Ready?
There's another thing here, right up your alley. USDA cancels $1 billion in local food purchasing for schools and food banks.
Canceling $1 billion in local food purchasing for schools and food banks. So and by the way, so the benefits are the students, the food banks, the people that go to the food bank, and also the farmers, the U.S. farmers, right? Everybody's getting screwed by cutting this. Let's keep going.
How do you justify that?
Well,
even Fox News does it. Really? That sounds kind of bad, bro.
Listen, I think it's really important. And of course, the left is doing what the left does. The
left is doing what the left does, namely telling the truth. The left is doing what the left does. They are concerned about things you should be concerned by. Those dastardly leftists want to make sure that schools have food. Evil. Bah.
COVID era programs. These were additional funds. And then under Biden, more and more and more and more money. So just yesterday, we're canceling more contracts on food justice for trans people in New York and San Francisco.
Oh, my God. They always have to find a way, don't they? They always have to find a way to be like, the fucking trans people, bro. It's all their fault, bro. By the way, just so we're clear, anytime you hear claims like this, if you dig on it and do some research, you find out they're either lying about it or totally misstating it. It happened all the time. I mean, how many times during the USA saga were they like, we're giving $17 quadrillion to Moroccan belly dancers, bro? And then you look it up and it's like, well, that's not true. It's like Trump when he said they spent, I forget the amount of money, but let's say $1 billion making mice transgender. They made the mice transgender. And then, God bless whatever journalist decided to look into that. But of course, Trump totally lied. Either that or he's the biggest idiot in the world and he didn't understand. But it wasn't transgender mice. It was what's called transgenic mice. And what that means is the mice were, the scientists have a way of making it so that the mice anatomy more mimics that of a human. It makes them like more human in a sense. And then you test for cancer and asthma and all these other illnesses. And you can run the test because you made the mice transgenic. So when you hear what it actually is, anybody who's being honest is going to go, oh, okay, that actually makes sense. It's like basic medical research to get new medicine that benefits all of us, right? And how did Trump talk about it? They're making mice transgender. We cut that off. No, what you actually ended up cutting off was medical research, just like you cut the pediatric cancer research as well. Right? So, oh God, I hate these people so much. Holy shit.
Obviously, that's different than the food programs in the schools, but it is really important. We spend billions and billions and billions of dollars on nutrition programs for lower income and socioeconomically disadvantaged kids. But the Biden administration used that to often push money out, taxpayer dollars out, that is not reaching its intended target. So that new program that came in the last few years, again, trying to spend more and more money, we're pulling that back. As we have always said, if we are making mistakes, we will own those mistakes and we will reconfigure. But right.
That's a lie. That's a lie. It's like when Elon said, oh, we accidentally cut off the Ebola funding, which, by the way, that'd be quite an accident, don't you say? But he lied. They actually didn't put the funding back in place. He just lied.
That program was non-essential, that it was a new program, and that it was an effort by the left to continue spending taxpayer dollars that were not necessary.
So in other words, yeah, we cut it off, but I don't know, COVID something, it started during COVID, so now it's illegitimate, and Biden bad. So yeah, that's... Guys, they're not even trying. They're not, because how can you actually defend this? Cutting off $1 billion that went to schools and food banks. She was like, well, hey, it started during COVID. Yeah, a lot of the free school breakfast and free school lunch programs started during COVID. And the intelligent states who actually give a shit about the citizens said, let's keep this in place. People seem to like it, and our kids are not going hungry. Oh, my God. So look, this is just the beginning, though, because... Why is she actually doing this? Why is Trump actually doing this? Because it's their goal to destroy, eventually, all of the free school breakfast and free school lunch programs. In fact, there was an article about this from 2024, almost exactly a year ago today. House Republicans want to ban universal free school lunches. The Republican Study Committee's annual budget also calls to permanently defund UNRWA and eliminate the National Labor Relations Board, which, by the way, Elon's working on that one too, just like he destroyed the CFPB. So they go on to explain one of their literal top priorities was we have to stop even the individual states, the blue states, that signed laws to do free school breakfast and free school lunch in perpetuity. Of all the things in the world to focus on, they said, let's take food out of the mouths of kids in this country. Let's actively make this country worse. This is MAGA. Make them fucking own it. This is MAGA. This is what it is. That's why you're cutting $1 billion that went to food banks and food for kids in school. That's why you're doing it. You're screwing over the farmers, you're screwing over the people who need to go to the food bank, and you're screwing over the schools. And again, according to themselves, one of their top priorities at the Republican Study Committee's annual budget, when they did this last year, they said, we got to stop with these fucking free school lunch programs. Yeah, because God forbid our kids are not hungry, right? God forbid people actually expect something of their government. And I should also point out, the polling on this was, of course, through the roof, where everywhere they tried it, everybody was like, oh, thank God, this is great. Finally, the government like doing something good that helps people. Those are the first things in line to be cut under Trump. Look, remember, $17 billion more to Israel, like that. No problem whatsoever. $38 billion to Elon Musk's shitty companies where his rockets explode, just like that. But food for kids who are hungry, who need it, nope, go fuck yourself. You cannot say enough negative things about this, right? And as I've said to you guys before, this is not something you work with. This is not something you negotiate with. This is not something you find a middle ground on, right? Because they say, what's the middle ground? Oh, get like 17 different levels of onerous, annoying paperwork. And if people jump through all the right hoops, then maybe the bottom 3% financially can get a means-tested school lunch program. And by the way, we're going to strictly regulate what they're allowed to eat and what they're not allowed to eat, right? That's the compromise. I'm not fucking interested in that compromise. At this point, I'm not interested in any fucking compromise. You motherfuckers are evil, right? You're evil. That is the realization we all have to come to at this point in time. It's true. You have to come to that conclusion. I used to be one of the people, hey, steel man the opponent, look for their best qualities, try to figure out where you can work together, try to understand where they're coming from. I did all of that, and I'm telling you, after that long process, the conclusion that I've come to is good exists and evil exists, and some of these fucking people are just evil. If you are trying to cut programs that give kids free school breakfast and free school lunch, you are fucking evil. And what you're saying is, I don't even care about the outcome of that. And what's the outcome of that? We've seen the studies. If kids don't eat breakfast, they perform worse in school. A lot of people come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, and it's difficult for, them to get enough food, etc. You're saying, I don't care. Fuck them kids. Well, no, my reaction is not fuck them kids. It's fuck you. I have no interest in working with you. You're fucking evil, and we all need to call it what it is, right? And these people have to be defeated, period. They have to be defeated. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor.
Yeah, it's a pretty mean-spirited thing they did. $1 billion in local food purchasing for food banks, farms, and schools. I mean, Jesus Christ. And like he said, some of these states, they enjoyed having, that in place. And now all of a sudden, it's gone. So they're like, we're stuck right back to the square one again. But, this is what MAGA does. This is what they are. They don't care. All that talk and everything about Christian values and stuff, caring about babies, caring about, families and values, and, and none of that matters anymore to what passes for a Republican Party. I don't even know if they even deserve that label of being called Republican, because even Republicans have some kind of line they won't cross, but MAGA, there are no lines. They will stomp on your neck whether you like it or not, when you look at what MAGA's, or what Trump rather, is what Trump and Musk are doing, and you see that prices are going up, food is going to go up, and it's already going up already. You see, I've noticed it here in the local stores. Prices have already started climbing. I'm waiting for the gas. The gas hasn't gone up yet, but it's stabilized at $2.87 a gallon here. But that's bound to go up. But with the food where it's going up, the last thing you want to be doing is cutting programs like this, because any little bit helps. And if you're going to be, closing the door to help for certain groups of people that are, living in poverty level, don't have a job where they can really afford it, what are you trying to do? Punish them? Is that what happens? If you're poor, you shouldn't be poor, so we're going to punish you by taking away all your safety nets. We're going to take away all your access to any aid that you might need. No, we're just going to cut you off, and you'll end up on the street. You'll lose your home. You'll lose your kids will probably be taken away from you, because the state will say, oh, you're not taking care of your kids. You're not feeding them. Okay, and so, the kids belong to us. All right, what are we looking at here? It's already bad enough that the cost of living is so high in this country that people can't even imagine owning a house. Okay, the fact that owning a home is considered to be a luxury that if you have the money you should get, but if you don't, hey, I guess you're just gonna have to do without. All you can do is either live in your car or live in an apartment if you can afford that, because hey, a mortgage payment for a house these days is probably about what you're going to pay for an apartment, The only benefit of living in an apartment is that you're not going to have to worry about upkeep and all that shit, you know, for a house that's old. You got a guy that's going to, you know, do maintenance whenever you can get a hold of him. But, you know, you just, you know, you don't have to pay certain taxes and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, a home would be more expensive in the long run, but still, the monthly payments of an apartment and a mortgage payment for a house, I mean, they're, you know, it's pretty close, you know what I'm saying? You know, so it's ridiculous. But they, you know, they have the balls to call a program like this food system here as non-essential. Really? They consider that a non-essential expenditure. Okay, and what world do they live in where eating is like, oh, you don't need to eat? Okay, who cares if you're hungry? You know, you don't need to eat. They think that's okay, that, you know, sending your kids to school hungry and underperform because they're hungry, that's okay. You know, they're always the ones bitching about public education is so shitty and everything like that. Well, Jesus, you know, maybe you guys could do something about that. Instead of bitching about it and cutting things to help it along. You know, you don't come up with solutions to problems. You guys are always looking to chop everything to pieces to get rid of problems. Well, not every problem needs to be erased, okay? Every problem can have a solution if you decide to sit down and talk things through and figure it out, you know? But, you know, you see, for decades, Republicans and now MAGA, they're not interested in fixing things. We never really saw a time when Republicans really cared to fix anything. Whenever there's something wrong with a government system, they want to just get rid of it, okay? And I'll take, you know, at the top of my head, the ACA, okay? When Obama got that going and it first started, okay, yeah, there was some startup problems with it, like anything that you first start is going to have problems, right? Okay, they had to do a shakedown of it, you know, and basically iron out the problems so that way it started to work right. It took a few months before they finally got it all worked out and everything, but in that time where they were trying to work on it to get it working right, the Republicans were itching to cut it. They wanted to get rid of it. It's not working. It ain't gonna work. It's never gonna work. It's like, well, Jesus Christ. You think the first fucking automobile that was ever built worked on day one without having them say, oh, we should take that off or we should add this on or whatever, you know? You're not gonna know unless you do a fucking dry run of the thing, you know, just to see how it works. But no, it's all about political posturing. It's about, oh, we got to make it so that way they can't succeed at anything. And that's been their goal all along, is to, you know, trip the Democrats whenever possible so they can't succeed at anything, and that way we can bitch and say, oh, government doesn't work. You know, the Democrats can't do anything, right? You know, so they set them up to fall all the fucking time. Well, Obama didn't fall for it, and the Democrats didn't then. They stood up to the Republicans back then. Why they can't seem to do that today, I don't know. I saw this on TV where they were, Donald Trump, you know, the MAGAs out there saying, oh, we might be able to get Trump to run for a third time, okay, because, you know, they found some technicality in the Constitution doesn't say that a person can't serve, you know, 3 non-consecutive terms. Like, you know what I'm saying? If, you know, they only say, well, if they've served twice, that's it. Okay, but they're trying to argue that, oh, well, it doesn't say specifically that Trump can't run because he served once, okay, but he didn't serve after that time, so he could pick up this one he's serving now, right? And he could still qualify for another term if he wins it, okay? But he can't do it again after that. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't see that as something that is going to be possible. But here's the counter to that. If Trump is allowed to run for a third term, guess who they're going to try to run him up against? Barack Obama. Because, hey, you know, if it's good for the gander, it's good for the goose, right? If you're going to run Trump for a third term, then hey, Obama's back in play. You know, he can come back, and that's Trump's arch enemy. Everything about what Trump's been doing, about even getting into politics, has always been about Obama, getting one up over him. He doesn't like Obama. Okay, think what you want. Why? Okay, I think some of us already know why, but you know, Obama doesn't really like Trump either. But that would be, you know, that would be quite a kick in the pants. You know, if he wants to run again, you know, hey, Obama's still a young enough man to be able to go at it for a third time if he wants, you know. And I don't see how people would be against it, you know. So I don't know. I know that's a side thing, you know. I digress here from this. I didn't want to forget before I ended the video today. But you know, it's funny how everything that people seem to like in this country, you know, as far as what government does, okay, and you think about it, you know, the post office and the fire department and the police department, and then you talk about Social Security and Medicare, and you know, when having the FDA and, you know, all these agencies that we have grown up with and gotten used to and have depended on, but don't even realize it. Now we got a regime in Washington who's interested in doing away with as much of that as they possibly can get rid of. Okay, and I don't think anyone has really sat down and thought about that for like 1 minute and thought what life would be like without all these things that we had growing up. Okay, and you know, I'm talking mostly to people my age on this because, you know, we're the ones we've been around longer. The younger people, they've only had some of this stuff at a short time and they probably wouldn't miss it, you know. But for us, you know, and for us that are getting up to the retirement age here, you know, we're going to be looking for those programs to be there. And, you know, chances are they may not be, depending on, you know, what this regime does today, what they plan on doing from here on out. Those things may not be there for us. And we've always said they would be. We always were told they would be. You know? It's like, you know, finding out that, you know, hey, you don't have a plot when you die to get buried in. You know, so what are you going to do? You know, it's just the thing. You know, people have a habit, a tendency to ignore problems until they bite you in the ass, which goes back to what I was saying in other videos where right now MAGA, a lot of people in MAGA are walking around like the cock of the walk, thinking we own the libs, we did all this and we got our win. But until the problems that Trump has created starts to bite them on the ass and come knocking on their door, only then will they fucking realize that, oh shit, you know what, Democrats are right, we shouldn't have voted for him. Okay, it's too late then, isn't it? It's too late. You found out, and now it's too late. And that's the thing that we always try to prevent happening when it comes to government, is that we need to pay closer attention to the people running for power and stuff like that. You know, that's why a person's character is important. Trump failed miserably on that. He did. Okay? He's a felon. He's got a very bad history with people, especially women. Okay? I don't even think he's that loved in his family, to be honest, okay? He's even got, you know, his own niece coming out trying to warn people about this guy, trying to say, look, this is what it was like growing up with this bastard, okay? So his character is really a really bad picture. There used to be a time when a person with a character like that would never set foot in any political office, okay? And it wasn't all that long ago. I'm 53, going to be 54. Okay, so I remember a time when politicians were required to meet a certain bar to be a political appointee or whatever, or to be elected. But now that bar doesn't seem to exist anymore now, and Trump is the one that changed all of that. And you know, so you can't say that Republicans or MAGA has any standard at all for who they want as a leader. They haven't proved it. They don't know, you know, how bad that looks to the rest of the world who still have bars set for their leaders, but we don't anymore now. What they're seeing is that, oh, the United States is not working anymore. Okay, it's the experiment, the great experiment, which was our country, our democracy, is being shown that it is flawed and it will fail. So how can we, you know, convince ourselves that, you know, a democracy is the better way when we're watching, you know, the icon of democracy simply crumble under its own weight? Okay, that's the thing. And because we allowed MAGA to basically get their way in this, you know, it's precedent. You can't unring the bell. So that means anytime we have a person that's running, you know, and we start saying, oh, well, they did this or they did that, we're always going to say, well, Trump did this and did that and it was okay. You see what I'm saying? People are always going to point to this point in time and say, well, if he did it, then it's okay, you know, that this guy's, you know, raped 50 women or whatever, or molested a kid. It's okay because Trump did it, and that's, you know. So, you know, how do we get that bar back? I don't think we can. I don't think we can, not unless the attitude in this country on everybody changes considerably. Okay, unless we change the way we view our politicians, that bar is forever gone in politics. So the people that we try to put in office these days, we're probably going to see a lot more cringeworthy folks. That's really going to be an embarrassment for America, and that would be very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. All right, so that's it for today, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. So subscribe, comment, and share, and keep your ears open for health-related issues, and treat each other nice out there. Be neighborly and friendly, help each other out, because we're all going to need it. So I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.